My name is Morgan, and I'm the UNL Victim Advocate and Prevention Specialist at Voices of Hope. At UNL, I provide a lot of advocacy services for students and faculty and staff who have experienced relationship violence, whether that's domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, and or stalking. So a lot of the core services that we offer at Voices of Hope, which is the Crisis Center located here in Lincoln, I bring those to campus.
I'm Jan Deeds. I'm the director of the Women's Center and Associate Director of Student Involvement. If you're a person who's been a victim, you're experiencing trauma, and so you need somebody to talk with you, be there with you, help you make those hard decisions that you feel pretty alone. So that's what the Victim Advocate does. Women's Center was getting phone calls from women who were victims of domestic violence wanting help, and so the students here reached out to community counselors and said, we need to do something. So they created the Rape Spouse Abuse Crisis Center, crisis line, which evolved over time into Voices of Hope. In 2002, I wrote a grant from the Women's Center to create a victim advocate position with Voices of Hope. So it's sort of a full circle thing.
Grant ended around, I want to say 2006, and then the Committee of Fees and Allocations here on campus voted to stabilize this as a permanent position at UNL. And so this role is actually partially comprised of student fees. So those fees that students pay every semester, and that committee is partially comprised of students. And so I think that speaks volumes to the fact that students made this a priority on their campus. They determined that having a confidential source of victim advocate on campus is important to them and something that should be stabilized. I had thought about intimate partner violence and all of these things, but I'm reading these statistics and I was astonished that it was still happening to 1 out of 4 women, and that for the most part it was still kind of this privatized issue that people didn't really talk about. Same with sexual violence.
Prevent is the relationship violence peer education group here on campus. We started it in 1999, the second year that I was here, as a collaboration between the Women's Center and the athletic department, because we realized that a lot of violence prevention education up until that point had focused on victims and perpetrators. And those are fairly small groups. But if you considered everybody else who might know someone who's a victim or observe situations where they could do something. So we decided we wanted to do some bystander education.
They teach these bystander intervention tactics, that somebody can intervene, whether that's directly or indirectly, which is so important in our culture in changing violence. And so that's one way that students can get involved if they're looking for ways to be a part of this.
I really want people to know that the Women's Center is for people, seriously, of all genders. Men and women both work here, volunteer here. This is the place where we want to have a safe conversation. You don't have to worry about asking a stupid question, because sometimes I think we're worried that if we're going to ask the wrong thing. So we go around worrying and not learning because we're trying to keep ourselves from asking those questions. This is a place where you can ask those things and everybody can talk to each other. We want this to be a place where we're all working together to make the world a better place.